Yes, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. That would be me, by the way. Yeah, I want to talk today a little bit about a notorious inmate from Strangeways. It was well known throughout the prison system, and indeed something of a celebrity in his own right, despite spending perhaps 30 years of his life behind bars. That's Paul SYKES. Yeah, no, he was at Strangeways when I was at Strangeways, but I was a hospital officer at the time. And when I first came across him, he kicked up and he was being held down by various large members of staff, and I was the hospital officer sent to help him. You know, that's a syringe full of chlorpromazine into the upper outer quadrant of his backside. So straight into the jacksie. And after that, let me say this, Paul SYKES was quiet after that. And in fact, he was put on to medication, and he would regularly, well, 2 or 3 times a day, I think it was, attend the clinic to receive his I believe he was on Largactil, yeah, and so you get like 25 mils of Largactil. Yeah, that kind of keeps you out of it, I believe. I mean, I haven't tried it myself, but my experience of all the people that were on it is that they became kind of zombified, you know, walking around in a trance, and that, unfortunately, was the sad state of Paul SYKES when I knew him at Strangeways. He was something of a notorious helper of young boys, young men, not boys obviously because it was an adult prison, but he would be assisting these young boys in entertaining themselves, so to speak. And that one of his mates was an infamous gangster from Liverpool who shall remain nameless, but whose initials are DS, so you can work that one out for yourself, all those of you who have been round the system. You see, there is an issue in prisons, you know, that, and you'd be surprised who is gay for the stay. Some people who are notorious gangsters outside, you know, once they get inside the prison walls, they switch and they help themselves to the younger men. It's always the younger men, isn't it? Yeah, that's the way it seemed to work at Strangeways anyway, and at the Scrubs. Because at the Scrubs I intervened on a couple of occasions when the Cambridge rapist was helping himself to young men on the landings at the Scrubs. C-Wing he was on, C2. Yeah. He wasn't very big, Peter Cook, you know. He was only about 5'5", something like that, but extremely powerfully built. Very strong man, you know. Yeah, he tried to kiss me once. Kiss me, Mr. Sutton, kiss me, yeah. I helped him back into his cell via the cell door. Woof, you know. Oh! You've got to do it, haven't you? Yeah. And if somebody's going to try and jump on you when you're going about your duties, you've got to deal with it gently, of course. You know, you don't want to damage the goods, do you? So anyway, that was the Cambridge rapist. But there's a lot of them at that, and as you say, it's gay for the stay. Male rape was one thing at Strangeways as well. I dealt with a number of cases like that when I was the hospital officer in charge of the clinic on A1 landing. All those of you who have experienced Strangeways will know the clinic on A1. Well, I used to run that clinic, yeah. A number of inmates come down, complain that they've been forcibly raped by their cellmates or other people who grab them and snatch them into cells. The problem was if you didn't take proper precautions, then I don't want to be too graphic here, but it kind of split the rectum, you know. So I couldn't stitch that up, so they had to go to Salford Royal Hospital. Number of inmates prosecuted for that, male rape. I mean, it don't look very good on your record, does it, eh? Armed robbery, being a gangster, male rape. Oh, yeah, that's you, is it? Yeah. They certainly were. And, of course, you've got to deal with it because people become psychologically damaged if that's happened to you. If you start feeling that you're a target for people who think you're a delightful prize, then I suppose it can play on your mind, which it certainly seemed to do. But as I say, Paul Sykes, he was notorious in the jails for actually snatching young men and entertaining himself. Apparently, I was told that you'd get a copy of that day's Sun newspaper. They used to have topless models on page 3. And he'd stick it on his victim's back, the picture of page 3, whilst at the same time penetrating from the rear. It did descend into graphic detail, didn't it? I didn't intend to do that. But anyway, that's my little story today, and it was inspired by the fact that I saw a news article about a prison overseas that they've got an outbreak of HIV, which is passed by interactions, same-sex interactions, or it can be whichever sex you're doing it, but this is an all-male prison where there's been 44 cases of HIV AIDS, and they don't know what to do about that. What they should do is issue condoms, shouldn't they? I mean, if the inmates are going to be buggering each other, then at least let them do so safely. Is that perhaps too woke? I don't know. It's a strange world we're living in. You see that judge who said to the jurors, "Do you mind if I address you as ladies and gentlemen?" What does he want? What is he going to address them as? What's wrong with it? The world has gone mad. Anyway, it is that time of day. Larry's already starting to panic. I can see the sweat on the brow. Yeah, grabbing his billy goat. I don't blame you. After yesterday's effort, that was terrible, wasn't it? I had a bad throat yesterday. It's not too bad today. Thank you, Catherine, for your concern. And Paula. I'll sing you a little Scottish song, because Paula is from Glasgow, Roaming in the gloaming, with the lassie by my side. Roaming in the gloaming, by the bonny banks of Clyde. When the sun is in the west, that's the time I like the best. Yes, it's lovely roaming in the gloaming. Yeah, that's just a sample. It gets worse after that, folks. Yeah, I'm going to sing you now a song written by Brendan Behan, performed originally by the Dubliners. And particularly, I've done this before, some 6 months ago or so. This is The Old Triangle. That's your last warning, by the way. The song dinger's dung. If you're starting around, then you're in for it. This is The Old Triangle, written by Brendan Behan. And by the way, if there's anything wrong with the sound, if it fluctuates or if it's too low, too high, let me know. I'm trying to get this right with this damn microphone, A hungry feeling came o'er me stealing, and the mice were squealing in my prison cell. And the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal, to begin the morning a screw was bawling, get up, you bowsy, and clean up your cell. And the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. The lags were sleeping, Humpy Gussie was creeping, as I lay there weeping for my gal Sal. And the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. In the female prison there are 75 women, 'tis among them I wish I did dwell. Then the old triangle could go jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. That's the old triangle, written by Brendan Behan, who was, believe it or not, a prisoner at HMP Walton. That's Liverpool prison, some time ago. Thank you very much. Tales from the Jails. Don't forget to buy my book, folks. It's there. HMP Manchester, Prison Officer. You've got to see it. Hey, see you, look. Let me show you. I know you're all dying to read it, if you've not already read it. I'm working on the next one, by the way. Oh, that's 61,000 words on the next one, so it won't be long. See you now.